Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ask Barry V Show. I'm Barry Vanover. This is Mr. Miles Baker. As you can see, if you've been watching our show and you watched the last show, I obviously lost the bet between University of Kentucky versus KU. So therefore, I have to sit here and fly the KU flag and fly their colors for this show.
And you know who's going to give you more crap than anybody about that is your mom.
My mother.
Your mother, yeah.
Huge.
She talked more crap to me on Facebook over that game than anybody.
Yeah, she's a huge UK fan. So, I mean, and we're not going to talk about college basketball because I'm guessing the majority of people out there necessarily aren't fans and definitely aren't KU fans. But great basketball game. We took the loss well. And if we're going to losing to KU at home in overtime.
Yeah, overtime, good game. And we're all winners when Duke drops out of the top 25.
Absolutely.
So I think we could all agree on that.
That made us happy. That made me happy. So, and I think both teams are looking pretty good for the tournament.
Yep, I agree.
Momentum, you know, that was a hard fought battle. So very exciting. All right, let's move on. Let's quit boring everybody with our college basketball fanatics, and let's talk about who's sponsoring the show today. You know, Martial Arts Management Group has a new program called Online Igniter. And the Online Igniter is the sponsor today. Online Igniter is a service where we're providing you all of your social media content and all of your email marketing content. So, for example, this show is being filmed 1st of February. Last month, we provided our clients all the social media content and email marketing for them to prepare to market, for example, their Valentine's Day special. All the email text written, the images, the pictures, everything that's necessary for the email campaigns that we would recommend that you're promoting to your prospect list, as well as all your social media content, post pics, ads, everything you need on a schedule where you don't have to remember to go onto your social media and post. You don't have to figure out what to post. We design all of that for you. Now, of course, all of our clients currently are using this, and we got rave reviews from this. So we're really excited about this program, and it's only $97 a month for us to provide all that information. So key things about Facebook, guys. Remember, Facebook and social media in general is social. You have to create relationships, maintain those relationships. You do that by providing valuable, interesting, fun, exciting, entertaining content so that people will engage. They will share your information. They will like your information. And you have to get them to consistently like your information or they will stop seeing your post. So it's not something that you can just have a Facebook page up, put up a few things every now and then and expect to get any results when you start running ads or you're trying to do viral type advertising. You have to keep that engagement, you have to keep that relationship. And for $97 a month, we're handling all of that for you. And better yet, this Online Igniter comes with a website. For a small $500 fee, we will design you a website, a fully optimized SEO website that is getting results on SEO and getting results, more importantly, on generating leads from your school. We were just talking to one of our clients, John Lyles in Lubbock, Texas, who said he got 15 leads over a weekend recently. So, you know, there's no magic number of leads, you know, depending on which market someone's in. But we use our systems, of course, and we're getting constant leads coming in every day, 4, 5, 6, 7 leads a day coming in from our website. So, and then the maintenance of that website is included in the $97. Now, if you don't need a website, we'll take a look at your website, maybe give you some tips on it. But the $97 is for the social media content as well as your email marketing content. So if you want to ask more questions about that, you can give us a call at 877-613-4900. You can email me at ceo@barryvanover.com, or you can just go to our website at martialartsmanagementgroup.com. All right, let's go ahead and let's get started.
Okay, the question's good. Well, the first question's fitting for our sponsor this week. This owner, Nick H., had asked, I have an employee who is putting what I feel inappropriate posts on Facebook and other social medias. How would you handle this situation?
Speaking of Facebook, you know, listen, here's how I look at it. I look at Facebook is since it is about building and maintaining relationships, then the conduct of your staff members on social media is no different than their conduct out in the community as they live and as they go around your area, the way they carry themselves, the things that they do. And the way that they're seen in front of your students is so important. So it's just an extension of that. So here's the rule I have with my staff. If you allow our students and our clients to be friends of yours on Facebook, then you're responsible for the content that goes on your Facebook, right? So it kind of becomes the business's my Facebook, right? And do we check that out and monitor that? Yeah, absolutely. So if I don't know what this situation here that Nick is asking, but if you've got a staff member, front desk person, instructor that's putting up inappropriate information and your students are seeing it, it's going to have an effect on how they look at your students. It's all about that familiarity, right? You don't let your instructors go to your families and your students' house for dinner and hang out with them on a personal level. You don't let your instructors and staff members date your students either. Well, they shouldn't be able to be on Facebook, having a Facebook or social media relationship and just put whatever content they want up. So if an employee, their Facebook is important to them to have the freedom to put whatever they want up, they need to go delete all your students and all your clients, okay? Because it can affect, and as a matter of fact, it was funny, I was just reading an article on this and how big companies are actually looking for ways, like if they want to fire an employee and they don't have a really good reason, they go to the employee's Facebook page and try to find something that they feel is inappropriate and use that as grounds to fire. Some states like New York and Pennsylvania and place, you got to have a really good reason to fire somebody. Tennessee's an at-will state. We can fire anybody for whatever we want, reason. But some states, you have to have a pretty good reason to fire somebody or it can cause problems. You can get, the employer can get sued. So they're actually turning to Facebook and social media to find reasons to let people go. It's that big a deal. So Nick, that's kind of the rule of thumb that we use, and that's kind of how I would handle that.
Very good. Our next question for this week is from Brandon. Brandon asks, what are your thoughts on using contracts for your students?
Contracts?
Yeah, contracts. I'm assuming like termed memberships.
Well, one, we don't call them contracts. We call them memberships, right? A membership is an agreement between two people, right? You and your students, of all the things that you're going to provide and the rules and regulations of your facility. But I'm guessing what Brandon is asking is, do we contractually obligate our students to periods of time, 6, 12, 36-month memberships, or do we let them just take class and quit whenever they want? Brandon, your business, a martial arts school, is primarily worth the value of its accounts receivables. Accounts receivables is the monies that is owed to a business and a company in the future. If you went to borrow money from your school, you're going to have a hard time borrowing any money to help your business. If you want to get a small business loan to expand or buy new mats, you're going to have a hard time doing that if you don't have any students contractually obligated for payments in the future. If you ever want to sell your school, which should be the goal of every martial arts school owner, to have that exit strategy is someday selling the school to take that monies towards your retirement, your school's not going to be worth anything if everybody at your school can quit any second they want. Plus, you yourself, planning your business, planning your finances, planning your bills. You know, we have bills just like everybody else, right? We need to know how much money is projected to come into our business on a monthly basis. And without having contracts and holding our students obligated to those types of memberships, it's impossible. Now, I hear consultants, I hate to even use the word consultants, but I hear people talking about, oh, we don't use contracts. Our classroom floor is so exciting. People love us so much that they just stay without having to have them locked into agreement. You know what? Go ahead and do that. You keep doing that and see what happens. Didn't we just have this situation a few weeks ago? A client called in or something, and they had stopped using contracts from someone's advice, and people just started dropping off and quitting, right? Plus, there's too many things out of your control. What if one of your instructors does something silly and causes a situation in a school? Now everybody can just quit overnight. You could wake up in 30 days and not have any students. Right? And no recourse of how to get those monies coming in. It's insane to run a martial arts school without having memberships. Health clubs all have memberships now, and they're serious about it. New health club over the street opened up here in National Fitness. You can't even join that health club without a 3-year contractual agreement. And there's no way to get out of it, right? Now, that's a whole different conversation, is really what's your philosophy on letting someone out of a membership? And the next big question is, what happens if someone stops paying, how do you enforce that? But that's not what Brandon asked, right?
Right, correct, yeah. All right, our next question for this week is from Brian. Brian asked, he's thinking about relocating his studio. He found a place of 6,000 square feet. That's a lot of space. But my rent will go up substantially. What are your thoughts? So he's wanting to relocate. He found a spot for 6,000 square feet, but rent's definitely going to go up. So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is why does Brian want to relocate in the first place? Mm-hmm. You know, probably the reason he wants to relocate is he feels like he's in a bad location. Well, there is the key. Mm-hmm. Location is everything. My thing is, if this 6,000 square feet for a martial arts school, if you don't have 400 students, 100 students, you don't need 6,000 square feet. When I go in and visit martial arts schools that have multiple classroom floors, that second or third classroom floor stays empty most of the time. Nothing's happening. 90% of the action happens on one floor anyway. So I think that's a lot of square feet. Another thing is, I doubt your 6,000 square feet location is in a good location if you can afford 6,000 square feet. Yeah. So to me, it's all about location, making your life easier, being in a visible location in the right neighborhood where the people have the money that can pay you. And you know, in that situation, like for example, the last school that we opened, a corporate school here, is $32 a square foot. That's pretty high for Knoxville, but we're in the primo location, right? So, but we didn't get 6,000 square feet either. That we got enough square feet that we could actually afford. So, Brian, my question is, why are you moving? If you're moving because you feel like you're not in a good location, why even bother moving to another bad location just to have more square feet? Because the money you're going to have to spend to have people find you and get to your school, it's going to even compound. You already said you might not be able to afford the rent, or it might cause you a little bit of financial problems. Well, you're still going to have to spend money marketing. You know, moving just because you're a 6,000 square feet school doesn't mean you're going to sign up any more students than the facility that you're in right now. So, man, if you're going to go the trouble to move to a better, more visible location where you get lots of drive-by, walk-by, people see you. They're like, oh, there's the martial arts school in the neighborhood. Don't go somewhere and hide yourself just to get more square feet, you know?
Very nice. That's kind of like...
You know, if I had won this bet, this man would have been baseball cap. He would have had UK on his chest huge. I would have made him wear the hat. Whatever, maybe shake pom-poms. Yeah. He kind of let me off easy with this hoodie, easy. Right?
No, I was going to say, though, square feet, you know, a lot of times school owners, we see them get confused. They think more square feet means more money, more revenue, right? More income.
Or what it is prestige. Mm-hmm. They feel like the bigger their school is, the better it's going to be. Yeah. People are going to talk about it. Yeah. We're going to have more students. It's not how it works.
And we see that sometimes with class schedules. I mean, not to get off topic, but we see sometimes prospective clients or new clients come on board that have way too many classes, and they were thinking the more classes means the more money, and that's not always the case.
Those more classes means more money or more programs. Well, I'm going to have a BJJ program. I'm going to have a fitness program. I'm going to have a CrossFit program. I'm going to have a self-defense program. I'm going to have kids karate program. I'm going to do yoga program. Man, that's so much staffing required to maintain that. Right? And all you're doing is spreading out the same number of people you would have anyway over all these classes and having to work so much more. Yeah. You know, I recommend one martial arts program with one belt ranking system, and the difference in classes is the age and skill level of students. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a BJJ program a couple nights a week or whatever, right? Of course, right? Or now BJJ schools out there, I'm not saying you can't, vice versa, have a fitness program a couple nights a week. You can have a couple little sub-programs, but don't think that those sub-programs are going to be your big money maker.
All right, last question for this week. Will K asks, he says, I'm averaging signing up about 10 students per month. I have a great retention rate, but I can't seem to get over 180 students for many years. What do you think the problem could be? So he's signing up about 10 per month. But he hasn't been able to break the 180 student count for a few years, he says, many years, in fact. But he also says he has great retention. He's trying to figure out what the problem may be.
Well, what the problem is, Will has done what we call plateaued, okay? And it just simply means that Will is at the point where he's signing up about the same number of students that he loses every month, okay? So keep this in mind. Now, let's do this. And plus, didn't Will say he thought his retention was good?
Great retention, yeah.
most school owners that I talk to, when we start analyzing what they're doing, every one of them will go, oh, we keep our students love us, we don't have a problem with retention. Yes, you do have a problem with retention. Okay, so now follow this scenario. Average attrition, which is opposite of retention, how many students you lose per month. Per month now, average attrition, let's say, is 5%. I feel it's 5 to 7. I feel if you lose 3% of your students a month, you're doing great. That's amazing retention. Awesome. Average is 5 to 7, right? Anything above 7 is really high. You got a problem happening. But let's just take 5% of your student body you lose per month. And we lose those people for reasons we don't even realize. They move, kid gets disinterested, kid gets hurt, has to take time off and never comes back. Kids start playing other sports. Adults find a girlfriend, and now he doesn't want to come anymore because the girlfriend wants to spend all the time. All these reasons that people have that organically and naturally cause them to lose interest, not in just martial arts, in any activity, right? It's just human nature, right? You're not going to keep everybody. Now, here's the scenario. Now, Nick only has 180, but my math is not that good. I'm a martial arts instructor, right? So let's do easy math. 200 student school. 5% of 200 is 10. That means a 200 student school at best probably is losing 10 students a month, right? That quit and don't renew, right? Over 12 months, if you still have 200 students at the end of 1 year, that's 120 students that quit your school. You lost 60% of your student body in 1 year. There's no way you can look at that any differently, guys. That's 60% of your student body that you lose every single year if you have good retention. So I think maybe Will here is overestimating his retention, okay? And then there's another concept. What got you to where you're at now? So in Will's case, what got Will to 180 students isn't going to get Will to 300 students or 150, 250 or whatever. It's not going to allow Will to grow because if he keeps doing the same thing. So what got Will where he's at now, 180 students, isn't going to get him to 250 without doing something different. And you know what? It won't even keep Will at 180 students over a long period of time, even if he keeps doing what he's doing now. The law of diminishing returns states that the more I do something, the less result, the more I do and the longer I do something, the less result that I will inevitably get. So in that situation, Will, you need to do something or you're actually going to start backsliding, guarantee it. So what you need to do, Will, is one, let's take a look at your retention, but probably you do have decent retention at losing 10 students a month. It's a little higher than I would like because you're probably losing 10%, 5% of 180. You're not quite signing up enough that you need to maintain or just that amount. So we got to change something. Let's look at your classroom floor, make sure that everything is going well. But I would be looking at my marketing and trying to get my student number up a little bit. If you're wanting to go above your 180, I would, one, look at my marketing and how I can get that to averaging 15 students a month, right? Instead of just 10. That's one thing I would do for sure. And the secondly is, you can make a lot of money off 180 students. I would be looking at how the 6 income generators of a martial arts school, making sure you're using them correctly, because you can make a lot of money off 180 people, my friend, right? And not have the stress of having to sign up 15, 20 new students a month. So keep that in mind as well.
All right, that is this week's questions.
Hey, guys, our marketing tip of the month, which you'll see on your screen here, is by martialartsmarketing.com, and it's called a Communicate With Us card. Now, this is inter-school marketing. So when we sign up a new student, or we leave these cards laying out where all of our parents can get them, it just simply explains the ways that we would like them to communicate with us. It shows our Facebook URL. It shows the email of the management, so you can email these people with their email addresses. And then if they would like to be put on a text alert where we can text them specials or text them school closings or reminders, they can text a keyword into our texting system, and we can communicate with them via texting. A lot of times we're so busy with our martial arts school that in the evenings, we don't have time to talk to parents about issues. We don't have time to take 15 minutes out and talk to mom about little Billy and his problems at school. But we want to make sure that they know that they can email us and set up an appointment, or email and speak to us. They can go to Facebook for fun announcements and reminders, and we can text them announcements and reminders. So the different ways that they can communicate with us, and those should be left out in your school somewhere so parents can always pick those up. By the way, that'll drive more traffic to your social media, right? And of course, give one of those to every new student when they sign up. And the good thing about martialartsmarketing.com, when you order those cards from them, they're going to put your logo on there. They're going to make it look nice, and they're going to customize this and design this for your school. And those cards that I saw there, 5,000 of those cards, I don't know.
Cheap.
Yeah. Cheap.
Yeah.
$300, $289, $369. I don't know, but it's cheap. All right. So is that it? Anything else?
That's it for this week.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week on Ask Barry V Show.